What up, y'all? I wanted to share a little tutorial on how to use Scalar 2 since it's a tool that I find myself using a lot and I find really useful both for composition and when I'm making synth beats or just composed beats as well as complementing sample beats. So I'm going to do a beat here and hopefully y'all can follow along. If you have questions, feel free to drop that in the comments. So first thing, I've programmed a little drum break here. Just as a the skeleton of the beat to add stuff to. So I've added a little swing on my 8th note hi-hats here. You can hear the drums. Marco Polo pad tie 7. Cool. Now I've also added on the master, and I haven't engaged it, and you'll see I'm about to turn it on. Let's hear the difference when I add the Lo-Fi Flex Machine from Yum Audio. Shout out Yum Audio who donated this to my nonprofit, Today's Future Sound. Here's without. And then with, and you can hear the difference. And if you're hearing this in stereo, you'll hear the kind of the stereo flutter and the widening that's happened here with a little bit of adding some width here and warble width. We can bring that up. I'm going to keep that down though. All right, now to get to the scalar part, right? So Scalar is a pretty comprehensive plugin that gives you chords and scales and stuff like that. I'm going to close this. And then I usually personally start with preset chords from songs, or sometimes I build my own. I've actually had a lot of success lately with using the K-pop, like J-pop, Japanese pop, or K, Korean pop. They've got some really cool chord progressions there. I've also used classical and a bunch of other ones too. But let's try J-pop 3. So that's pretty nice, and you can hear with the warble on it, the already great felt piano, which is the default preset on Scalar 2, sounds pretty cool. It has kind of like a lo-fi feel. So if we want to capture this just as it is, we go to MIDI capture, right? And then you hit play. Then we hit stop here and we can drag this in. Now we can use it in Scalar with that felt piano if we like the sound of that, which actually I do. Now it sounds great. The whole beat has that yum effect on it. But let's see what would happen if we go ahead and take that instance of it and put it just on the Scalar. And let's take it off the master. We'll deactivate it here. Let's see how it sounds. And here are our chords. In Ableton, if you hit fold, it'll show you only the chords that are the notes that are being played. So I quite like that. We could change up the the chords, or we could change the rhythm of them. But I'm not mad at this. And if you want to do a simple cheat code for a bass line, you can just take all the bottom notes here, right? And then copy them, right? Hit Command C. Let's go to bass. We'll go here. I've got an instance of Analog Lab V, which I really like by Arturia. It's got a lot of great presets. I'm definitely a preset kind of person. So let's pull this up. We'll go to bass. And let's see if we can find, there's a particular bass sound that I like that was recommended to me by DJ Prominent called A Bass You'll Use. Here it is. Nice slow sub bass. So we'll go there. We'll make a new clip here. And we know that we had a 4-bar MIDI clip there. So we want to make sure that this is 4 bars. Punch in 4 there. And we'll go here, paste it on the 1. Let's hear it now together. Let's try popping it up an octave. I'm going to hit Shift and up. And if we undo it, so it's growling at that low octave. I kind of like it at this register. Now, what we can do next now we have a simple bass line. If we want to add a little flavor to it, we can always, mess with it. I'm going to fold the notes here so we only see those notes. One thing I like to do is octave jumps, right? And so what you can do is you can take, say, this D sharp note, have it, like make it twice as fast, clone it, right? And then if you hit shift up, it'll go up an octave. We'll duplicate that and put that copy up an octave, and then we'll make these shorter. And let's see how that sounds. And then maybe we'll have it kind of do a call and response here with this B note. And let's have it come down. Check this out. I really like that. Same chord here, so we can just copy this, right? This is a D sharp, this is a D sharp. So we'll pull that over here. Got that. Now, one thing you may want to do to get, if you have a sub bass like this and you want it to pop a little more, you may want to add saturation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, let's test out the Magma. I like to use Waves Magma tube saturation because it's bass. In this case, it's actually not mono, but typically you want to keep your bass mono. So let's try adding some saturation from the tube plugin on here. Check it out. This is before. Now let's compare in the mix. Kind of pops a little more, right? Maybe we'll add a little high on the post. Cool, so I like that. And maybe let's add one more of these with this B chord right here. We'll take these guys again, we'll duplicate them, and we'll pull them over here. And I want to have one more note for emphasis here, at least with the C. And we can go to the final chord and take a look. So we have C sharp, right? Then G sharp, D sharp, and F. And if you want to preview the notes, click on this little headphone. D sharp, I believe, was one of the notes. Let's go back. Yep, it is. And so is F. That's cool. Let's see what an F would sound like. We'll unfold it just to get down to F. I like that F note even better. So yeah, we got something now. We got a bass, we got a chord progression. I mean, that's a beat unto itself. We might want to add one more element, like a melody. That's something that I typically would do. Now, I have this kind of played out thing that I like to do, which is the West Coast G-Funk, Dr. Dre synth, glissando synth kind of thing. If you use Analog Lab V, there's two kind of go-to presets that I tend to, be drawn towards. They're some of the first presets you see. Fusion lead. Okay, now, if you don't know what to do, you want to program a melody based on your chords, go back to Scalar, and let's go Scalar. We'll go here, and we have the same chords. This time, we're going to go to Perform, right? And we're going to go to Melody. Let's hear what it does now when we hit play. So that's kind of cool. You could have a little bit more of a complex kind of, it's a combination of chords, fingering, arpeggios, and such. So we can do that, and then we could also, we could tell it, and there's all these different like colors and motifs and stuff like that. So we could do that. Let's try that. And if it's a mono synth, it's only going to play one note at a time. But let's go MIDI capture. Let's try this out. So first I'm going to want to try that in my piano section. Let's change the color so we know it's different. So that's one option, but I think I prefer the plain chords. The other thing we can do is we can drag this over here. Let's play it. Let's get rid of the low notes down here because I feel like those are maybe taken away. We can take these low notes, which are kind of pulling the melody down, which we want to be higher, and we'll bump them up an octave, maybe two. So these are playing at the same time, so they're actually stopping each other, right? But they're the same note. That's okay. Maybe we can have it go up one note here. Actually, let's keep this original one. All right. Yeah, so we've already now done a bass line. We have a chord progression. We now have a melody that we can bring in for like the hook or something like that. You know, and you might just play around with, if you have Scalar, play around with the different settings that they have here. Color A, right? They have commons, motifs, riffs. Let's just try riff B1 and see what that does. That's cool, right? So what we can do is we can also drag this in here, and we can change like the pitching of it on here. So we can drag these chords down. And then we can go into edit, and we can edit features about the chords, right? So bring it up an octave. Even do inversions. We get half the time. And now we can go ahead and we can drag this here, maybe into our melody section and or into the piano section. We can see what it sounds like. We'll again color code that to know it's different. And let's try this one here. Put it down an octave because I like it lower. Let's try it up an octave, but bring the volume down. So I think we really got something here. I quite like it, and we can arrange it. So yeah, that's pretty dope. And hopefully this was helpful in terms of helping you to understand a workflow, one way you can use Scalar. I really like the felt piano, and yeah, we made a beat, and it didn't take that long, maybe about 15 minutes. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Phillipdrummond, today's Future Sound. Chat.